thoughts and emotions before actually getting into it.
This is another one that, honestly, I want this person with a therapist. Here's why. Because if you do end up getting into a very serious relationship and it's awesome and you're ready for this, that other partner cannot possibly be equipped for whatever's going to happen after sex happens for you.
Good point.
For them, this is another stroll down the park with somebody they really enjoy. For you, this is an unequivocal mountain that you have just climbed, a life milestone which you've been building up, and it has very emotional baggage for you. This is significant, and no partner can possibly be equipped for that. So I want you to encounter a therapist, specifically a sex therapist if you can find one, in part because they're probably going to start desensitizing, like you said.
Yep.
And it will sound weird, but they may even tell you, hey, your homework is I want you to look up porn, and I want you to watch an entire scene of porn, and I want you to take stock of how you feel. You know, both sides of this. Do you feel aroused? Do you feel ashamed of that? And you know, Nick, this is actually a good part where we should probably point out there's a lot of people who have had sexual trauma as well. Mm-hmm. And some of what this person doesn't indicate sexual trauma, but those who have that identify with some of this.
Oh, sure.
That there's some weird stuff that happens around sex for them. They're aroused, they also feel ashamed. They feel like they have to run away after sex, and they have to like seclude themselves and isolate, and they run from partners because they feel overexposed. If that's you guys, sex therapy is really something I want you to consider. I think, you know, and you might say, well, how do I find a sex therapist? Just go find a therapist. Most of us have done some training in sexual stuff. This all comes back to psychology anyway. But gosh, this is something I'd really want you to do. And definitely don't just dive into the brothel. I don't think that's the right way.
Yeah.
Even though in Nevada, pot therapy is brought to you by Dennis Hoff's Cherry Patch, our favorite brothel.
The pot therapy stamp of approval.
That's right. The exclusive brothel of pot therapy.
Yeah, they've experienced.
I really like the idea of a therapist supervised brothel visit.
Yeah. Which, you know, if you'd like to inquire, Nick and I offer these services. As Las Vegas therapists, we're there to supervise, provide some hypnotism on the side, whatever you need.
There's a price for everything.
Every man has his price.
All right. Well, thanks for writing in. We do appreciate it.
So to wrap up the show, Nick, we've got some quick apologies, some Patreon thanks, and some quick announcements. I'll launch with my apologies. I'm sure you have some of your own, but dear producer David Data Scoop Violon, sorry I recommended a book on boundaries that had Christian overtones. Though I think you overreacted by drawing a pentagram on the floor and setting the thing on fire. Maybe next time,
disagree.
Donate it to a bookstore. Dear successful people who wake up at 4 a.m. Sorry I implied that your success is not due to your disciplined agenda, but rather to an enlarged prostate, which makes you have to pee. Dear Toys R Us, sorry that I blamed your bankruptcy and layoff of your mascot Jeffrey for the imminent extinction of giraffes in Africa. Those two are probably not related.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Apology. Well, I don't have anybody to apologize to.
Oh, man. Clean slate. Good for you, man.
Yep.
Well,
all right.
We definitely want to thank our Patreons.
We do. We want to welcome our newest therapal, Yvette Ono.
Yvette Ono. Not to be confused with Yoko Ono. This one will not destroy us. At the beginning of every month, we also want to say thank you to all of our therapods. So thank you to our dapper three-toed reptilian special forces of our therapeutic alliance. Thank you, Brooks Lyle, Blaine Maurer, Brad Kefauver, Brian Lehman, Corey Owens, Curtis Hanlon, Dan Martin, David Pollock, who is actually at $8.88, I'll have you know, David Younts, Easy Whip, who I'll have you know is at $6.66, Gavin Bristow, Heather Psychotic Scoop Crace, Ice Blue Scoop, who's at $10, she's the Alpha Therapod, Carrie Terhark, who is Nick's sister.
Yeah.
Your sister is a therapod. Welcome to my hell. Welcome.
Which, by the way, she didn't say this outright.
Yeah.
But I got a little hint of jealousy.
Oh, that you get to hang out with me?
No.
Oh.
That she was not the first sister on the podcast.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Well,
next time
sister
she
sponsors
comes down,
the show, so at least she's got that.
Next time she comes down, she
I'll
is
tell you
expecting to be a guest.
I am more. I like your sister right now more than mine because yours
$5
kicks
more?
us $5. That's all it takes. We want to thank Kate Keller, who's a $7 member. We want to thank Lori Sorry Fellas, she's married, Eltsroth. Remember we used her maiden name? She's like, don't do that. Leon Kassab. We want to thank Linda Brandmeier, Mandy Abela, Manuela Musaku, Malaya, Nathan's Hot Dog Scoop, Peter Van Pelt, Robert Paulson, who's at $4.99, so he can never not be a theropod. Or we put him in the theropod category. He tries to be the top therapal, but we ain't having it. John, his Twitter is on Fire B. Scoopaholic, Scoopstronaut, who's at 532, and my mom, Tracy Replogle.
Last but not least, we want to thank our bosses, the Elite Eight, the mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of our fan club, the Theraproducers. Thank you, Smitty Scoop, Jake Schneider, Robert Brownie, Jr., Mint at $24.99, Kayla Lansbury, David Data Scoop Violon, Judy Schneider, Gray Whitaker, the chairman of the board, and Dr. Ben Don.
And I'll have you know, Dr. Ben Don has sent me his commercial.
Yeah.
And I am under strict orders not to reveal it to you.
Well, guess what?
He saw it?
No.
You saw it?
He sent 2 because he's going to rotate them each month.
Did he accidentally send it to your email?
No. He sent me one
Oh.
to read about you.
No!
Yes.
What are you up to, Ben?
So
Oh, wow.
So each month,
He's
one is going
double
to be
dealing.
Yeah, one's going to be about me
Oh.
and one's going to be about you.
This is getting
so
weird.
it's-
All right.
yeah.
Well, I'm excited for that, but I definitely have a secret one on you, so I'm super excited. If you'd like to join our fan club, you can go to patreon.com/therapy. If you are an advocate for mental health, if you believe that everybody deserves mental health, and if this is something that you'd like to get behind so folks have somewhere they can write in and experience some therapists during their off-duty hours, come down to patreon.com/therapy and help us make this project possible. Again, we are a non-profit, not for-profit podcast. Every dollar we get goes right back into the movement. Thank you so much. So speaking of our Patreon, Nick, we're
Yes.
going to get fired back up with our book club.
Yeah,
We gotta
holidays
finish
were a
the
little
sucker.
rough.
Yeah.
We kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah,
We're at
so
chapter
book club.
6, so we got to knock out the last 2 chapters, I think.
Yep, we got to finish, I think 7 and 8 and 9, I think is all that's left.
Was there 9?
I think we did
can't remember.
6. So we're finishing up our book club on our Patreon, and we're going to launch a new book. You can also check out Afterthoughts. Afterthoughts, which is with Nick and his girlfriend Laura. And that's kind of a topic show where they reflect on things that we've talked about during the show, and then we kind of get a female perspective, and it usually leaps into other topics as well, which is a lot of fun. And then I am going to be launching a new project here in 2019. I have surveyed our audience. I have asked them what kinds of things they're interested in. The number one thing that people were interested in, Nick, was to hear more techniques, to actually have us show the cards of here's something we do in therapy with people. And as I was preparing to do that for our project, or for my individual project, you and I powwowed and we realized we should be doing that during the show.
Right.
Like, that's something we should do during the A block. So I think that's going to be something that we actually bring into Pod Therapy in season 2. So that left me with the runner-up in people's voting, which is that folks know that I'm writing a book called Love Dad. And it's a book of life advice for my kids. And that was the second most popular thing in all of my polling that people said they'd like to see me do. So I'm going to be posting as a blog on our Patreon. It'll be in writing, but they will actually be my drafts of different installments of my book. And I'm excited for that because it will keep me accountable to finish the book, because I'll know somebody else was going to read it. And so I'm just going to post it into our Patreon and get people's feedback on it.
Great.
So that'll be kind of my individual project here in 2019.
Awesome.
Excited to do that. Thanks everybody who supports us, and thank you so much for those suggestions. We really appreciated it. That's all the time that we've got for this week's session. We want to thank our landlords, the Ice Cream Social Podcast, and thanks to those who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. Remember, Pod Therapy isn't something you should keep all to yourself. Help us reach others by opening this episode's description in your podcast app, copying and pasting the link provided into your social media. Don't forget, you can find us at facebook.com/podtherapy, on Twitter @podtherapyguys, and now at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to submit a question to the show? Ask anonymously at www.podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. I'm Nick Tangeman.
I'm Jim Jobin.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointment next week.
Fun times. All right. So to all of our watchers of this 360 video, thanks so much for joining us. I hope that it worked.
I hope you enjoyed all 3 dimensions.
All 3, not dimensions. all-
3 dimensions then.
Listen, this was 360 degrees. That's a lot of degrees, man. And thank you to Jacob, who gave me this chocolate. I don't know if you intended for me to eat this, but I'm eating this fucker.
Eat it.
Because you gave it to me.
It's from Pittsburgh. It's a Pittsburgh.
You want a piece of it?
Yeah.
It's a Pittsburgh chocolate bar that somebody sent us.
Go Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
That's sacrilegious, but I'm okay with it. Oh my god, it's really good.
Hey, your Panthers finally got a win today, though.
Jesus Christ. We had to sell our soul for that win.
I mean,
Ridiculous.
New Orleans didn't start anybody, but
Yeah, no, right?
Panthers gotta win.
You guys don't care.
No.
You guys walk into playoffs.
well, if New Orleans had started their guys,
We'd
I was
be
going to be
dead.
mad at them.
Oh, I'd be stupid. We didn't even start our guys.
No.
Yeah.
There
That
no
was
reason
just
to.
our B squads having fun.
Right.
It shouldn't even be televised.
They did play Michael Thomas. New Orleans did play Michael Thomas for a
Yeah.
little bit because he broke the Saints receiving yard record today.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's worth it. Because it doesn't count if you do it in the playoffs, I think.
Right. Yeah, regular season receiving yard.
Are you guys the number 1 seed?
Yep.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Yeah, that's why they didn't care. They already had the number 1 locked up.
No. I wouldn't care either, man. It was the right thing to do. Patreons, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the 360-degree episode of Pod Therapy. Season 2, episode 1.
Yep.
Fun times.
Not 1 dimension, not 2 dimensions, not 4 dimensions, but 3 dimensions.
dimensions, not even degrees. Take that, string theory.